might have just found Jerry Jeudy replacement. He's looking real spooky. Might be seeing the bench just like Deshaun Watson. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Cleveland. The hottest topics that was on the 2025 season was superstar wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, man. Jerry Jeudy got a $40 million deal. He currently make $17.5 million a season, and this young man can't seem to haul in a football or save his life. And what's crazy about it is that the Browns got a history of paying a lot of guys that don't perform to the amount of money they giving them. Now look at Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has got an $80 million deal, and he's sitting on a damn bench. It's so bad that they can't even get rid of him because no one else is going to be willing to pay him that money, and they can't deserve.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at the roster. Look at the salary cap. The time for excuses has officially expired. The notion that the Cleveland Browns can simply run it back with the same bloated contracts and the same underperforming assets was not just a hope, it was a cliff edge. And as we stare down the barrel of the 2026 season, we have officially gone over it. The patience regarding Jerry Jeudy has come and gone. It is in the wind, it is history. And what we are left with in the aftermath is not clarity. It is not a path forward with the current wide receiver room. And it certainly isn't a justification for the millions of dollars being funneled into pockets that have holes in them. What we are left with is the deafening sound of a collision between economic reality and on-field delusion. We need to have a very serious, very uncomfortable conversation about what is happening in Cleveland, because the PR machine has been spinning so fast, it is about to come off its axis. We have watched the games, we have analyzed the dropped passes, we have looked at the guaranteed money, and if you actually sit down and look at the production versus the pay stub, if you strip away the draft pedigree and the reputation from college, you will find a level of return on investment that is frankly terrifying for the future of this franchise. I cannot believe what I am seeing on the books versus what I am seeing on the grass. It confirms everything we have suspected for months. The Browns have a history of paying a king's ransom for a pauper's production, and Andrew Berry is finally waking up to the nightmare.
For superstar wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, like I stated, is scheduled to make all this money for the 2026 season, and it's no question that the Browns need offensive help. And I'm telling you right now, Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam is making it their business to use these draft picks for the 2026 season to find new wide receivers.
We have to start with the contract that is defining this entire offensive failure. It is a number that should be studied in business schools as an example of how to misallocate resources. Jerry Jeudy secured a deal worth $40 million. He is currently pulling in roughly $17.5 million a season. Let that sink in. Let it marinate. $17.5 million. On the surface, that sounds like the going rate for a playmaker. It sounds like the cost of doing business in the modern NFL, but when you peel back the layers, it exposes a fundamental disconnect that threatens to burn this offense to the ground. You look at the production, 50 catches, 602 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you have to ask yourself, are we paying for performance or are we paying for potential that expired 3 years ago?
Guys to come in and possibly help the Browns make it over that hump for the 2026 season. It's being reported that the Browns projected to add All-American weapon for Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns need a makeover on the offensive side of the ball, and the team could opt to use one of its top picks in the NFL draft to give quarterback Shedeur Sanders a new weapon to work with. Guys, if it's to me, I think it's two things that the Browns desperately need to get for Shedeur on the offensive side.
This is the star player fallacy. It is the belief that because a player was drafted high and signed a big check, the production must be elite. Let's be crystal clear about something right now. Jerry Jeudy did not earn that contract based on what he did in a Browns uniform this past season. He got that money because of a projection that never materialized. The team is looking at a player who cannot seem to haul in a football to save his life, yet creates a salary cap hit that suggests he is Justin Jefferson. To equate Jerry Jeudy's personal net worth with his value to the Cleveland Browns is not just disingenuous, it is dangerous. It tells the fans, and it tells the rank-and-file players fighting for roster spots, that there is a different set of rules for the guys with the big names. It suggests that accountability stops where the guaranteed money begins. But that vault of patience does not exist anymore. The pockets of the franchise's patience are empty. The fact that the person dropping the passes is making $17.5 million is irrelevant to the physics of the football. If you don't catch it, you don't help the team.
2 touchdowns. Mind you, guys, Jerry Jeudy makes $17.5 million a season, bro. He only had 600 damn yards. That is a major, major, major problem, bro. I just gotta be honest. Now, it goes on to say Cedric Tillman missed time with an injury, and rookie Isaiah Bond had a limited role with the offense. Now, Sanders' most reliable weapon.
We have seen this movie before in Cleveland. It is a horror film on repeat. Look at the Deshaun Watson situation. This is the elephant in the room that we cannot ignore. Watson is sitting on an $80 million deal, and where is he? He is sitting on the bench. It is so bad, the situation is so toxic, that they cannot even get rid of him. No one else is going to be willing to touch that contract. No one is going to bail the Browns out of that financial crater. They cannot absorb that salary hit on the books without crippling the entire organization. So you have Watson on the bench earning a fortune, and you have Jeudy on the field dropping passes while earning a fortune. It looks like the same scenario is playing out twice. It is a masterclass in how to clog your salary cap with dead weight. Jeudy is scheduled to make all of this money through the 2026 season, and yet, it is no question, zero question, that the Browns desperately need offensive help.
6 touchdowns, and that's an all-team high. Now, with that being said, he ain't making $17.5 million, bruh. He got way more yards than Jerry Jeudy. Now, the Browns general manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that the team will invest in improving the offense as a whole this offseason.
The irony is palpable. You are paying premium prices for a product that is defective. And I am telling you right now, Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam are making it their business to pivot. They are realizing that you cannot subsidize failure forever. They are preparing to use the draft picks for the 2026 season to find new wide receivers, to find players who are hungry, players who haven't already cashed out. And this isn't just speculation. A report has leaked, and it provides some very, very important information. I like hearing news like this because it signals a return to sanity. It signals that the front office is finally looking at the math and realizing it doesn't add up. They are looking to bring in big-time players, young guys, to come in and actually help the Browns make it over that hump.
Time with an injury, and rookie Isaiah Bond had a limited role with the offense. Now, Sanders' most reliable weapon was Harold Fennekin Jr. Now, Harold Fennekin Jr. proved that he is like that. I think him and Shedeur, with Luke Floria coming back, they can add some big-time key weapons to help flourish that offense, bro. Long as they got offensive tackles and guards to help hold the line steady for Shedeur to find these guys, it's going to be lights out football for the 2026 season. Now, the first-year tight end.
It is being reported that the Browns are projected to add an all-American weapon for Shedeur Sanders. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders, because he is the sun around which this entire solar system revolves, whether the veterans want to admit it or not. The future of this franchise is not Deshaun Watson. The future is likely Shedeur, but you cannot bring a young quarterback into a slaughterhouse and expect him to survive. The Cleveland Browns need a complete makeover on the offensive side of the ball, and the team could opt to use one of its top picks in the NFL draft to give Shedeur Sanders a new weapon to work with. If you analyze the needs, if you look at the schematic failures of the past year, I think it is two things the Browns desperately need to get for Shedeur on the offensive side. They need wide receivers who can separate, and they need a fortress on the offensive line. I'm talking left guard, right guard, center, and tackles. You cannot expect Sanders to be successful if he is running for his life or throwing to guys who have stone hands. I feel like if they can give him those tangibles, they have a very, very high chance of making the playoffs. And I mean, not just making the playoffs, but making a deep run. I'm talking AFC Championship type of potential. I just truly feel that way. A lot of people might get in the comment section and say, you're glazing, or you're too optimistic. No, look at the defensive metrics. The defense is solid. If the defense wasn't solid, I wouldn't be mentioning the AFC Championship. But because that unit is elite, the offense just needs to be competent. But competent is a high bar when your number one receiver is ghosting you. Let's look at the data from Shedeur Sanders' final 7 games of the season for the Browns. He went 3-4 in those contests. He passed for 400 yards and threw for 7 touchdowns. Now the critics will point to the interceptions. He had a whopping 10 interceptions. That is a scary number. But we have to apply context. We have to look at the film. A lot of those interceptions came due to players like Jerry Jeudy, and I ain't gonna name nobody else, but we know who they are, who cannot haul the ball in. When a ball hits a receiver in the hands and pops up into the air for a pick, that goes on the quarterback's stat sheet, but it belongs on the receiver's conscience. One of the major problems for Sanders was a complete lack of reliable weaponry. Jeudy was slated to be the team's #1 receiver. He was paid to be the alpha. He finished the season with just 50 catches for only 602 yards. Mind you, this man makes $17.5 million a season. He only had 600 yards. That is a major problem. I just have to be honest. That is theft. Cedric Tillman missed time with an injury. Rookie Isaiah Bond had a limited role. The only bright spot, the only person earning their keep, was Hearn Fannin Jr. Now, Fannin Jr. proved that he is like that. He proved that production isn't about how much you get paid. It's about how hard you work. The first-year tight end caught a team-high 72 passes for 631 yards and 6 touchdowns. Compare those numbers. Fannin Jr. had more yards, significantly more catches, and triple the touchdowns of Jeudy. And here's the kicker. He ain't making $17.5 million. He is providing value. Jeudy is providing a deficit. This is the Ferrari fallacy all over again. The Browns thought that by paying for the luxury brand name in Jeudy, they were getting a luxury car. Instead, they got a lemon that breaks down every time they try to drive it out of the garage. Meanwhile, the reliable sedan in Fannin Jr. is carrying the entire load. The general manager, Andrew Berry, has finally acknowledged the reality. He stated that the team will invest in improving the offense as a whole this offseason. He went on to say, "It's no secret that that's where we're going to invest most of our resources this season." Listen to the words. Invest resources. That is code for, we are done relying on the guys currently in the building. Berry stated, "A year ago, we decided to make the pivot that we did. You also realize that you're not going to be able to accomplish anything at once the roster get done." He knows the offensive line needs a fair amount of turnaround as we go into the 2026 season. They are questioning whether to sign veteran guys. I believe they need veteran guys along that line. Why? Because with Deshaun Watson and Jeudy holding the salary cap hostage with their high dollar amounts, you cannot go out and sign elite free agents in their prime. You have to find value. You have to get veteran guys for cheap, guys who just want to compete, and get somebody in here who can simply block. I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you. You need functional competence, not flash. The Browns hold 2 first-round picks. This is the leverage. With the lack of high-end quarterbacks in the upcoming class, the Browns could decide, and should decide, to build around Shader Sanders and give him more to work with. That is what I like hearing. That is a strategy based on reality, not delusion. And who is the target? Who is the replacement for the ghost of Jeudy? Dane Brugler of The Athletic has the Browns adding Texas A&M standout. Well, actually, let's correct the record. It's Casey Concepcion. The article references him as a standout weapon. He was at NC State, and he is a fluid, gliding athlete. Let's talk about Casey Concepcion. This is a player who specializes in getting open before the catch and creating after it. He would be an immediate starter at the slot or Z receiver. And what does that mean? It means I believe Jeudy is going to be up out of there. You draft a guy like Concepcion, you are drafting Judy's replacement. You are telling the $17 million man that his services are no longer required because you found someone who can do the job better for a fraction of the cost. Concepcion caught 61 passes for 919 yards and 9 touchdowns last season. He was named an All-SEC selection. Correction, his pedigree is elite regardless of the conference confusion in the reports, as a wide receiver, all-purpose, and return specialist. During his previous 2 seasons at North Carolina State, he caught 124 passes for 1,099 yards and 16 damn touchdowns. The dude is like that. This is the difference between paying for past performance and paying for future production. Concepcion is hungry. Jeudy is comfortable. The Browns also need to add to the offensive line. They could look at Jack Conklin or Joel Bitonio, but let's be real, those guys are possibly on the ends of their deals. They are aging. You cannot build a future on a crumbling foundation. But I'm here to tell you, this young wide receiver Concepcion looks like he could be the guy. I just gotta be honest with you. They have to go in there and get a Jeudy replacement. Get him the hell out of Dodge. Get somebody in there that's going to be willing to put in the work and make his money. Because Jeudy making $17.5 million to only have 600 damn yards and 50 catches and 2 touchdowns is beyond rhetorical. It is malpractice. It is financial negligence. They have to fix this. We did a video recently where we broke down the contract situation. Jeudy still has a 3-year deal. I don't think his deal is up until like 2028. It's looking spooky. The dead cap hits are massive, but sometimes you have to cut your arm off to save the body. This mindset of, we paid him so we have to play him, is getting worse by the day. And the irony is, while the front office is finally looking at draft picks, the current roster construction is still weighing them down like an anchor. You simply cannot demand a championship performance from a roster that is financially handcuffed to mediocrity. You have Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam making it their business to use these draft picks for 2026. That is the only way out. You cannot trade Jeudy. Nobody wants that contract. You cannot trade Watson. Nobody wants that contract. You have to draft your way out of this hole. The Browns currently have a bottom 5 wide receiver depth chart. Let that statistic wash over you. Bottom 5, with a $17.5 million receiver on the roster. That is a failure of management and a failure of performance. Finding an upgrade should be a priority early in the draft. Conception is that upgrade. If they can secure a player who creates after the catch, a player who doesn't need everything to be perfect to make a play, they change the dynamic for shittier Sanders. Sanders proved he can throw for 400 yards in 7 games with a broken roster. Imagine what he does with a guy who actually catches the ball. Imagine what he does with a line that gives him more than 2 seconds. The defensive side of the ball is doing its job. They are holding up their end of the bargain. But the offense has been a charity case. And the moment you treat your wide receiver room like a charity case for underperforming veterans, you lose the leverage to demand to be treated like a playoff team. Sanders' most reliable weapon was a rookie tight end. That tells you everything you need to know about the failure of the wide receiver core. Fannin Jr. stepped up, Jeudy stepped back, and now the deadline for patience has passed. The pivot Andrew Berry is talking about, investing resources in the offense, is an admission of guilt. It is an admission that the previous strategy failed. A year ago, we decided to make the pivot. He is saying in polite GM speak, "We messed up, and now we have to fix it before everyone gets fired." They need to focus on the offensive line just as much as the receivers. The position group will have a fair amount of turnarounds. That means cuts. That means letting go of names we know. I don't know if they are willing to sign veteran guys, but they have to find bodies. Because with the high dollar amounts on the salary cap from Watson and Jeudy, they can't go shopping at the luxury store anymore. They have to go to the discount rack and find the hidden gems. They have to find guys who can block, plain and simple. This is the reality of the 2026 season. It is a season of consequences. The bills for the bad decisions of the past few years are coming due. The Deshaun Watson contract is a sunk cost. The Jerry Jeudy contract is an active liability. The fans work hard for their money. The fans understand basic economics. They know that if they performed at their job the way Jerry Jeudy performed at his, they wouldn't just miss a bonus, they would be fired. That is how the real world works. And yet, here we are, debating whether the Browns can overcome these contracts. The draft is the only salvation. The Browns hold those 2 first-round picks. With the lack of quarterbacks, they don't need to chase a signal caller. They have Jeudy. They need to build the fortress around him. They need to give him the keys to a vehicle that actually runs, not one that is being parted out on the side of the road. Dane Brugler's report about adding Conception at number 24, using the pick the Browns got from the Jaguars, is the roadmap. It is the blueprint. Conception is a fluid athlete. He gets open, he catches the ball. It sounds simple, but in Cleveland, that has been a revolutionary concept lately. He would be an immediate starter. That means he takes snaps away from the guys making the big money. And frankly, that is exactly what needs to happen. If Jerry Jeudy is going to be up out of there, it will be because a rookie came in and took his lunch money. Conception stats at NC State, 124 catches, nearly 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns, show a player who knows how to find the end zone. The dude is legitimate, and the Browns need legitimate players, not theoretical ones. So what happens now? The season is over. The evaluation period is here. We are staring down the barrel of the draft. And if the Browns miss on these picks, if they decide to ignore the offensive line or ignore the receiver depth to draft a luxury defensive player, they will have committed suicide just as Shedeur Sanders was learning to walk in this league. They will have taken the golden ticket of a young, talented quarterback and ripped it up because they refuse to admit their mistakes with the veteran contracts. I guarantee you there are discussions happening right now in Berea that are frantic. Andrew Berry knows the clock is ticking. He knows that his legacy is tied to fixing this mess. The owners can wait this out to an extent, but the GM cannot. The irony of the situation is that Jeudy thinks his contract secures his spot. The reality is, his contract has put a target on his back. When you make $17.5 million, you are expected to carry the offense, not drag it down. Shifting the focus to 2026, the roster overhaul is inevitable. The offensive line, the wide receiver room, it all has to change. They can try to get some veteran guys for cheap. Just get somebody in here that could block. I'm just keeping it real. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. If they build around Shedeur Sanders, if they give him KC Conception, if they fix the guard play, they can turn this around. They can go from a team with a $200 million bench warmer to a team with a dynamic offense. But if they don't, if they continue down this road of hoping Jerry Jeudy suddenly remembers how to catch, they are going to wake up and find that the window has closed, the fans have checked out, and they are left standing in an empty stadium with a bunch of expensive contracts and no wins to show for it. This isn't about hating on Jerry Jeudy. I want him to succeed. I want the Browns to thrive. But you cannot win with a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. You have to fix the bucket first. Shedeur Sanders is the water. The offensive line and the receivers are the bucket. Right now, the bucket is leaking $40 million and 10 interceptions. seasons. It is time for the front office to wake up. It is time to stop looking at the names on the back of the jerseys and start looking at the production on the field. It is time to listen to the stats because the numbers don't lie. 602 yards for $17.5 million is bad business. Get down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about this one. Do the Browns cut their losses? Is conception the answer? Or are we destined for another year of excuses? This story isn't over. It's just getting started, and the offseason is going to be ugly. We are watching a franchise try to unbury itself from its own mistakes. Keep those bells on. I will be back with more content as this situation develops. Until next time, shake the haters off. Face the reality. I'm out of here. Peace.